So, in a recent sit down with the Rolling Stone, James Gunn offered some insight, some hopeful and some calming words regarding the future of Batman in the DCU. James Gunn says, quote, "Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now, personally. And I'm not writing Batman, but I am working with the writer of Batman and trying to get it right because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman. So outside of the stuff that I'm doing and the projects that are actively going, our two priorities are finishing our Wonder Woman and our Batman scripts." James Gunn continues, "Wonder Woman, I think, is actually easier for me because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman, definitely not in the movies, but really anywhere, that there have been of Batman. Every single Batman story has been told. It seems like half the comics that have come out of DC over the past 30 years have Batman in them. He's the most famous superhero in the world, and the most popular superhero in the world. And people love him because he's interesting. But also having so much of him out there can also make him boring. So how do you create that property that's fun to watch? Batman has to have a reason for existing, right? So Batman can't just be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character in all of Warner Brothers, which he is. But because there's a need for him in the DCU, and a need that he's not exactly the same as Matt Reeves' Batman. But yet, he's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman, really. So we're dealing with that. I think I have a way in, by the way. I think I really know what it's... I'm just dealing with the writer to make sure that we can make it a reality. For the record, I have had all the faith in James Gunn and his role as the guy in this new chapter of the DC universe. There were never any doubts in my mind that this guy was going to ruin Batman, ruin Superman, ruin other characters, and drive DC Hollywood further into the ground. Through reading comments and watching other YouTubers and videos and things like that on social media, I see a lot of people, either they're James Gunn haters or they just don't have faith in him for whatever reason. I've seen all the comments, and one I keep seeing is that the people that aren't a fan of what they have seen so far from the Superman trailers, people feeling like it's too lighthearted or too campy, they feel like James Gunn is going to do the same thing with Batman. And I have never thought that. James Gunn's track record speaks for himself. Through his projects with Marvel and his projects with DC, he has shown that he understands these characters and portrays them properly. And what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, at the time not being a household name, many people, all casuals and many people had no idea, any clue who the Guardians of the Galaxies were before they stepped onto the big screen. And James Gunn nailed it. And he captured all of those characters perfectly. And I've never met a person in my life so far that would take a shit on the Guardians of the Galaxy's trilogy as a whole. I wasn't a big fan of the second movie, and that has more to do with the story, but it wasn't horrible. But as a trilogy, Guardians of the Galaxy is gold. And even in the third film, James Gunn delivered with more depth. He delivered with more serious tones. He delivered a more emotional, gripping story in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He understood the moments and delivered them, and did not ruin these moments with campy banter. So James Gunn has showed me that he takes care of characters and understands characters and will take his time to get this thing right. He did it again with the Suicide Squad after that. Did it again with Peacemaker. And then did it again with Creature Commandos and the new DCU. So you cannot tell me that this guy doesn't understand these characters. And even Creature Commandos had some heavy moments and emotionally gripping scenes that weren't ruined by campy banter. So you cannot tell me, given his track record with these superhero films and projects, that he doesn't understand these characters and that all he can do is do campy, jokey MCU fun. That is not true. So I never had any doubts. I never for a second thought that the Batman was ruined under the James Gunn regime. But a lot of people feel that way. Whether they're just hating or they legitimately feel that way. And I hope hearing these words from James Gunn about the Batman can calm some of you people down. He specifically said he is not interested in a campy, funny Batman. I never thought he was going to do it, but a lot of people did. Now, with that being said, the project is still called The Brave and the Bold. Now, I have watched some of the Brave and the Bold animated series, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and of all the Batman media I have encountered, Brave and the Bold seems to be the most lighthearted and, for lack of a better word, campy Batman that I have seen in recent years. But it works. It works. It's a fantastic cartoon. It's a fantastic show. But that's their take on the Batman. So I wasn't sure if his Brave and the Bold was going to fall in line with the animated series or just use the title. But even inside that Brave and the Bold animated series, Batman never breaks character, but it's done so creatively where it gives a much more lighthearted Batman adventure. It's so well done, it really is. But anyway, hopefully this calms some people down. He is not interested in a campy, funny Batman. I think James Gunn will deliver an exceptional Batman film. Now, as of right now, he's not directing that film. Obviously, they're still working on the script, so we'll see what happens in the future. But the fact that he understands Batman's importance, and how could you not? It's Batman. He said it himself. It's the most popular, the most beloved superhero. And I tend to agree with him. Some people might say Spider-Man, some people might say Superman, whatever. I think it's Batman, but that's me. James Gunn is taking this Batman project very seriously. And he is taking his time. And that's another thing I like, and that I'm seeing so far about this new DCU, is that they are giving people time to do the best work they possibly can. Take your time, no shortcuts, and deliver the best project you possibly could. Whatever your role is in the film and the filmmaking process, let's take our time. Let's do it right. Let's get these characters and story right. And so far, I like what I'm seeing. He's not interested in cash grabs. Not interested in using the character's history and IP against him by only using him as a cash grab to collect money. Oh, it's Batman. We put Batman in, people are going to see it. No, it has to make sense, like James Gunn says. We are not going to disrespect these characters and take advantage of what they have become and how they got here by using them to put butts in seat. No. No, 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 no. He has to have a reason. And of course, it's Batman. I get it. He doesn't need a reason to exist in the DCU. It's Batman. But what is his role? How does he fit into this world? How does he tie into the other characters? How does he move it forward in this new DCU? There has to be a reason. Give it context. Give it meaning. Make it make sense and do the character justice. And James Gunn has just spoken on it. He's not messing around with the Batman. James Gunn's like, have you seen my track record? When have I never delivered these characters appropriately? I nailed Guardians. I nailed the Suicide Squad. I nailed Peacemaker. I nailed Creature Commandos. And I sure as hell hope that I nail Superman, and I hope y'all love it. But let me cook. James Gunn's like, y'all, just let me cook. Of course, you can't always escape the naysayers and the opposite forces, if you will. They have to exist. I get it. But for the people that don't hate James Gunn and do want the best for the DCU, relax. Relax. It's all going to be okay. He understands these characters, and he's going to do his damn hardest to put the right people in position to deliver the product and deliver the films and content that we want to see about these characters. It's Batman, baby. It's Batman. I mean, when's the last time we had a bad Batman film? And even if you want to look at the DCEU and the Snyderverse, we never got a solo Batman film, but nobody had a problem with Zack Snyder's Batman or Batfleck. Everybody loved Batfleck, though he didn't have his own movie. And the only kickback that we've really gotten about that one is some people don't like that he's too brutal or that he's not going out of his way to not kill people or kill people, which, to be fair, we've seen that with almost every other Batman in the past, including Christopher Nolan, but he would never got the criticism that Zack Snyder got. I seen Chris Bell's Batman in the tumbler squash a police car, smashed it with police officers inside. I saw Christian Bale's Batman have a chance to save Ra's al Ghul and decided not to and tried to get away with it by saying, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. Batman would not do that. Batman would save him. And everybody's like, oh no, that's okay. That's okay. No, that worked. No, that doesn't work either. So I'm just saying, we've seen almost every other Batman get away with stuff like that. Just saying. Keep it consistent. Anyway, I didn't mean to ramble off course. That's all I got to say about it. Happy to hear this stuff. I had no doubt, but for the people that were having some concerns, here you go. Don't worry about Batman. Batman's going to be all right. That's all I got to say about it. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell. Stay notified. Catch you on the next one. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, Batman!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.